Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. And today's comment is on the old folks, the forgotten people, and the hot potato political people. Well, you notice that the White House and the extremist Republicans are having their usual thing about the national debt and racing the ceiling. And how to fix it. Well, it's easy to accumulate a debt. It's hard to fix it because you don't know how you did it. And who's liable for the debt? Everybody, because those dumb American people put the people there that are arguing for this stupid stuff today. You guys voted for them decade after decade after decade. So decade after decade after decade, you got $31 trillion accumulated. Okay. But the old folks are getting kicked in the ass. And why? The old folks had nothing to do with this. There was a guy 80 years ago in 1935, almost 90 years ago now, who set up this Social Security for the old folks. Retirement, he said. Social Security. There's nothing secure about it, and there's nothing social about it. For decades, it got accumulating because at the time, the old folks were a little less than everybody else. And remember, when you started in 1935, you got absolutely nothing. You had to be born 1935 and later to start getting benefits from it. So the people that started getting benefits from it would be, you were born in 1935, or 1925, so let's make it 25, so you'll be 10 years old. So the next 50 years, so 1985 is when Social Security started getting in trouble. And why is that? Well, during the 1980s under Reagan, and then again under Bush, I love George Bush. Yeah, and Clinton, you rated this fund, which wasn't meant for anything else, and you rated it for other things. Depleted it. And at the time, you had the baby boomers born in 1946 to 64, which were a huge population. And by 1985, they were really in the workforce. Okay? Oh, well, we got this huge workforce is going to be, Well, 1946. And all of a sudden, the greatest generation, the one before the baby boomers, they started dying faster than the Social Security was meant for them. Hey, yippee, we got it. You're right. But the baby boomers, on the other hand, were consuming and excessive and all that, and they started getting problems. So you started having disability, SDI, and SSI for the mistakes of the baby boomers. You know, we like the hanky and panky, and you can't say that, you baby boomers. I'm part of your group. Hanky and panky, and leave our pankies all over the place. Oh, there was a lot of hankies there too. Yeah. Well, you had to account for the kids, and you had to give them Social Security, and you had to give the wives alimony. Oh, yeah, and then, by the way, you croak, and your wife gets Social Security 75% if yours is better than hers. Yo! But if she croaks and her Social Security is not well, you get nothing. That's the way the rules are, right? Old folks, you know me. Yeah. Okay. Well, in the 1980s under Reagan, Bush, and the 1990s under Clinton, things got so bad that you had to establish all kinds of stuff like SDI and Social Security, and then again, attorneys got involved in that, and that's where you got people like Morgan and Morgan today. And by the way, there's no more, because the baby boomers are dying and getting old, and the people that come after them, the Gen Xers and the generation, the millennials, there's not very many of them. And even the Generation Z, oh boy, are they gonna, you guys are in trouble. Yo! I'm 64, but I got a lot of issues, so I may not see 65. I hope I don't see 65, and maybe not see 66. But that's just me. I'm saying, yippee, I'm going home. Back to live my own life on my own planet. Yoo-hoo! Yeah. But there's a lot of other people that don't have that luxury. And they're stuck here. And mind you, you say, oh yeah, but we put in Medicare in 65. Yeah. Original Medicare. Yeah. And then Clinton put in, what do they call that? Part C. Parts A, Part B, medical and doctor. And then Part C is the Advantage plans. And then you got Part D, too, for drugs. Oh, well, that's not working as well as it used to, is it? No. And then you got Medicaid. Yeah. And when you talk to Social Security, they say, oh, there's over 50 million we have to serve, so we have to... But Social Security was meant for the old folks. You guys never set up anything else for disability or mental illness, or hanky-panky by the baby boomers, hanky over here, panky over there, and then, oh boy, there's a lot of hankies left, and you see them all over the place, otherwise known as Georges. Yeah. So now you got a $31 trillion. Oh yeah, and don't forget your defense. $800 and some billion a year for defense. Why? I mean, really. Are you responsible for the defense of the planet? No. Nobody has ever been responsible for the defense of the planet. Because other adversaries, like the Chinese and the Russians, they don't have the resources to put up with $800 billion in defense and another $600 billion in Social Security for illegal aliens. Yeah? See what I mean? You guys cost $31 trillion debts because you guys didn't figure out what are we doing here? You say, okay, we robbed Peter and we'll get Paul later. Well, Paul left with Peter, Paul, and Mary, and they're all gone now. So there is no Peter, Paul, and Mary to get a hold of. And therefore, we are left with the bag, the old folks. And we had some part in it, baby boomer generation, because we were hanky and panking all over from 46 to 64. Yeah. I never did a hanky or a panky, so I have nothing left. Because I promised my mom when I was 10 years old that it ends with me. Well, it did. And since I'm going home, when I kick the bucket here, it'll only be 15 seconds of your time that has passed, and it's been over 50 years for me here. Yeah. And I can tell my bosses, yeah, I can understand why we looked at the humans the way we did, especially the Americans. I got a special flavor for them now, because I lived with them for almost 50 years. And trust me, I don't understand them today better than I did when I came here in 2065. No, never did understand them. They were long gone. Remember, they were dead for about 30, 40 years, dead when we came here. Because they killed themselves and they didn't even know why. Ain't that funny? That's what your descendants told me. I talked to one guy that was standing over at the White House, what was left of it in 2066, and it was so destroyed, and the Capitol was so destroyed, and I said, did the Mushka did it? Oh no, they didn't even attack this place. We did this a long time ago to ourselves. We disintegrated ourselves. And we don't know why. My father didn't tell me why, and this guy was 80 years old. But he said that at one time the United States was top dog here. Well, I understand now. I didn't then, but I do now. You guys overextended yourselves, and now you got to pay the piper. This is your favorite alien. Good day.